Molly Flespuller, and I'm one of the members here of the Education Department at Prairie Public and Broadcasting. And Darcy is off today, and so she's asked me if I would run through a few resources with you on kindness, empathy, and resilience. So what I've done is basically come up with a few pages that we can take a look at with some links to actual sources. Since you've done the credit, we'll just blow past that kind of quickly. I'm going to talk to you today about 4 main tools, and then I've got some lists of other things that we can talk about too, depending on our time together. But the first one I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about is something from our PBS Learning Media Database. And I know that Darcy has these recorded and that she'll be able to get them out. You'll be able to get back to these links. So don't worry about having to, if you don't have all of to get back to where we are looking today, you'll be able to do that once the recording of this is up and running. So we're going to take a quick peek at something called Kindness, Empathy, and Resilience. This is a tool or a collection actually of a number of different kinds of resources, and it comes out of our PBS Learning Media database. So this is a database that I'm sure Darcy has talked a little bit about this in other presentations, but for today we're going to just look at some things, a few of the things that are within it, and this is our collection here. If you go onto the left hand side, you'll notice that you can choose your age group, which is very nice. And for today's purposes, I think we'll just take a quick look here at the pre-K through 5 listing. And as you scroll through this, you can see that there are a number of things here available that you can go through and take a peek at. We've got videos here that would be interesting. Daniel Tiger's It's Raining. There is a way. Here's one for grown-ups comeback strategy. The Feelings with Sesame Street. And all of these should be things that you could probably incorporate into your teaching. I don't know how much has Darcy talked to you a little bit about this before, this database?
Yes.
Okay. So, you notice down here, if you have an account that you've opened and signed into, you can do make these little hearts active, and that'll be something that you can put into your favorites. And the little icons down here will talk to you about, they're actually telling you a little bit about what type of resource you're looking at. So this was a printed resource, a PDF. So we'll just take a quick look at this. I haven't actually seen this one. It's for, looks like a little bit older kids, talking about leadership throughout Sandy Hook. So that's kind of an interesting tool that you might be able to take a peek at. Then another one that I wanted to show you quickly is something called, this is particularly good for the smaller children. It's a selection of things called Life's Little Lessons. And this particular one is for kindness. And you can go in, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can find 10, I think, that they've put together, and you can have, you can take a peek at their mad feelings. Sharing might be good. I know resilience or persistence is something that people are real interested in. And so I'm going to go ahead and just open that one up for us a little bit so you can see what's in here. And you will find that initially they're going to give you some clips. This is an entire episode that you can watch. So if you want to put this up on the screen for kids to take a short look at. Then there's the song. There's Daniel Tiger always has a song, so this is the song that you could use to talk about a little bit more with the kids. and some real life examples of kids themselves trying to persist and to be resilient. And then within this group of things, there's also teacher tips and an actual activity. And these are very nice. They're PDFs, and so you can print them off very easily. And it goes through and explains what you could do to further demonstrate the issues in the episode. And here's a family letter activity if you wanted to send something home with the kids that day. And it comes in English and in Spanish. So this particular collection is a nice one. The Life's Little Lessons is something that they're doing more and more of these kinds of things. Again, probably best for young kids. So that's a good thing to know about. The next thing we'll take a quick peek at, and this is from a slightly different website called PBS Parents, which I realize that the site itself is geared at parents of children, but it might be worthwhile for teachers to just, if you go ahead and go into this site, you'll be able to actually sign up again for a free account. And then one of the things that is available to you is their newsletter. And I know that this is kind of a busy site. It's got lots of things on it. And again, it does focus primarily on parents, but there are an awful lot of activities, fun and games, and just insights and things here that might be something that you could use to further kind of a lesson or an idea. Even this birthday parties I find kind of interesting because there's lots of craft ideas here for things that you could do with kids based on PBS characters, things like that are kind of fun. And the one that I wanted to show you is an example of something here. It's an article called Showing You Care and Offering Comfort. And this is just an example of something that you can find. A little video that will come up on your screen, and you can take a peek about that. And it's Elmo and his friend. And again, this database is very nice because if you've got an account as I do, you can put this, again, if you click on the star, it will sign in to your account and it will save this for later. If it's something that you think is cute, you can come back to it again and use it at another time. There's lots of resources like this. I particularly like this database. And again, this is for younger children, but Sesame Street in Communities is a really a good place to come for some of those really hot topics, things that are important for parents and for teachers. So you can get into this database and find things for example, traumatic experiences or offering comfort here, community violence. And again, within here, you'll find lots of activity sheets and video clips and even sort of general articles. If you see a little purple, looks like a newspaper in the corner, you know that this is sort of an article that might be of interest to you. This is one on comfort strategies, which might be helpful. So that's PBS Parents. The next one then that I've got here is again Sesame Street and Communities, and here's a topic. They have an entire section on resilience. So I just thought I'd bring that up for you. And again, you'll see right up on top, there's a video clip, it looks like, of real life examples of things and activities that you could do. Looks like here's a good little clip on sharing cookies. That might be kind of fun to do with young kids. Here's something on I Can Be Patient. And again, a couple more activities with kids to do and more videos. So lots of little things that you might gather if you'd like. Again, if you've got your If you've got an account, you can open these up and put a star on them, and you can come back to them later as needed. So I like this Sesame Street and Communities database quite a lot, again, for younger kids. And then the last thing I thought I'd add, and this is new, which is why I see over here I've got 4 key tools, but I just located this morning. I got a great tip on this particular resource, so I thought I'd include it today, kind of at the last minute. And this is from the PBS Teachers Lounge. Again, it's the Teachers Lounge is sort of a blog area where other teachers are available, and also for, so you could certainly join this, and then they have members of the PBS crew that are writing blog posts, and this particular one just came out, 9 tips for teaching kindness in the classroom. So it's just kind of another resource that you might be able to take a peek at. It looks like they've put some activities in here. And again, this covers, I think, children that might be somewhat older as well, if you're interested in things that you can do with some of the older children. But you'll be able to kind of connect up with other teachers in this particular area if you'd like, in the Teachers Lounge. I just thought it was sort of interesting that this popped up today on the day I was going to do this workshop. And then I have this whole list of things. Again, I don't think we'll go through all of them because obviously I don't want to just talk at you the entire time. But I did want to pull together, again, just some really nice sort of core resources that I think would work well. Here's one called, Teaching Kindness in the Classroom, which is great. It's got, it looks like here, I've linked these individually too, but there's 2 sheets. These are new again as well. I just learned about them today, called Kind Acts Bingo. You can actually print these out and have your students play bingo with them if you want to. They've got, everything here is, I think, kind of nice. It's doing nice things for other kids. So, or you could take this one, I believe you could have them take home. You could see if they could do bingo at home with their family. But you've got things like set the table or make a card, take turns. And there's 2 of them that they've done with this particular, in this particular collection. So that's one. And then the second one is just right here. So if you wanted to have your kids play bingo of kindness, that would be one thing that might be kind of fun. This is the Life's Little Lessons that we took a look at earlier, again with Daniel Tiger and all of his options. This is a link to a particular episode of Arthur, so funny I forgot to laugh. And Arthur is still quite popular, again, maybe with slightly older children, but it's really, we've got a lot of good feedback on Arthur, and he did this whole video on how it feels to be kind of laughed at, which is very good. Saying sorry isn't helping, again, another video. Here are some just tips for kids on resilience. Take a peek at that. I think it looks like that's just a printout again that you might be able to use. If you wanted to talk through some of these with your child or your kids in the classroom, you could do that. Got some of those feelings that might be hard for them to talk about. This AIM Buddy project, Darcy wanted me to mention this one because she's heard really good things about it, again, for slightly older children. But she said that she's had teachers use this and has had quite positive feedback on it. So the AIM Buddy project is an entire collection, and it has just quite a lot of information here for teachers to use. The guide is very helpful, so you could get an overview. And it has everything in here to sort of run this through with your students. So if you wanted to do, let's just take a peek at this welcome. Just, you can learn more about it here. And I've got more from this same collection will be in this area right down here. So again, this might be something you could link it up to your Google Classroom or use pieces of it as you felt were useful. So that's the AIM Buddy project. This is an interesting little interactive. I thought I'd show you what some of these look like. Again, this is on bullying. And this is actually a little tutorial, it looks like. And I need to sign in with my account apparently, which I'll do here real quickly. But what it does is, again, probably for older children, but it is a nice little tutorial that kind of starts off with information that they read. And then they move through it. And it gives them, it looks like it gives them some of the terms that they're going to use. And eventually they're going to be asked to complete some things. So they can type in their text here and respond to questions. So this is kind of something, again, that an older child might be able to do. And it's fairly interactive, again, so that they can actually respond to some of the questions that have been created here on bullying. I wanted to talk briefly about this application that I think is really great. And again, it's listed as something that's for parents, but I do know that individuals do use this. This is a really, really great. Again, Daniel Tiger has has songs that often are used to just make important points, and the kids love them. So there's the Mad song and individual things like that. And if you are in a rush and you can't remember a song, and you know there's a song in Daniel Tiger that deals with whatever's happening in your classroom, this is definitely an application for you. If you download it onto your phone, it's going to have a list of all of the songs that Daniel Tiger has available to you, and there's lots of other sort of tips for things to help your child grow, and quite a number of good resources. Again, probably targeting parents, but I think there are things here that you could use to supplement a lesson if you felt like it, or if in the moment you really knew Daniel Tiger had something in his episodes on, you know, anger management, and you just can't remember the song off the top of your head. You could pull it up on your phone, or you could use it on iPads for kids too, if you wanted to have them take a peek at something that you were working with, a topic in class. Oops. Here's empathy in action. And this is a resource from a database called PBS Parents. And I just wanted to give you, that's another one of our resources that I think can be very helpful. There's just a quick description of how to help help your child treat others with compassion. And again, more information on talking through their discomfort, encouraging kind impulses, using empathy to guide giving. And it looks like they're also going to give you an option here for finding some activities. Arthur again is, oops. My machine is giving me some issues here. Well, maybe there's still, I can say that they have done a recent update on this database, so I wonder if maybe they're missing a few links yet. But Arthur is certainly one of our shows that does work a lot with sort of social development, emotional development. So this is a database that has a ton of information here too that might be of use, but particularly on kindness and compassion. One of the things you can do through the PBS Parents is sign up for their free newsletter. I did provide the link for that. Again, one thing that's nice about this is when this comes, they often have some of the newest things that have been placed out into on their website and into the media areas, and it often will give you, again, it'll attach an activity or a project idea, things like that, that again might be useful as something to do with your students. And we already have seen the bingo part 1, but I do have direct links here so that you guys can get them back if you need to. And then maybe this last one here is what is empathy? And once again, I'm just going to play this one with you because it's one of my favorites. See if you can hear.
Hello, I'm Mark.
And I'm Murray.
And we're here to tell you about the word empathy.
Empathy, yes, empathy.
Tell them about the word empathy. What's wrong?
You're not gonna believe this, Mark.
What?
But I can't remember what empathy means.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'll tell them what empathy means.
Oh boy, this is so exciting. Mark Ruffalo is gonna tell us about empathy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Can I do it?
Go, please, go for it, Mark.
All right. Empathy is when you're able to understand and care about how someone else is feeling.
Oh, right. That's what empathy is.
Yes, yes.
I don't get it.
What?
Sorry.
Okay, let me see if I can explain it to you in some way.
Okay, I'm gonna listen.
Let's say I'm walking along and, oh,
What?
I stubbed my toe. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, you poor thing,
Murray.
Mark. Oh,
Murray.
that hurts. I
It
can
hurts
imagine
so much.
exactly how you feel.
That's it.
Oh, wow, what's it?
That's it. That's empathy.
What's empathy?
You could imagine exactly how I feel. You could understand just how it felt. That's empathy.
I still don't get it.
What?
I still don't get it.
Okay. Let's think of another way.
Okay, let's think of another way. Thinking.
Oh, Murray.
What?
Did I tell you about that time when I lost my favorite teddy bear? It was.
It's very sad. Did you love that teddy bear?
I love that teddy bear.
Oh, I can imagine exactly how you feel. It's really sad feeling. It makes me want to cry like this.
It was sad. It was so sad. But you know what?
What?
You know what empathy is.
I do?
That was empathy.
What?
You could understand how I was feeling, exactly how I was feeling, and understood it. That's empathy.
I get it now. Yes! Yes, I get it!
Yes!
I understand
Yes!
empathy!
You understand empathy,
I'm
Murray.
so happy right now!
I'm
it
happy
makes me
too.
want to dance the dance of happiness!
I can imagine exactly how you feel. I want to dance the dance of happiness too.
Then what are we waiting for?
Let's do
dance!
Empathy!
So that's kind of the type of things you can find in here. And I do like Mark Ruffalo especially. Many stars have taken on those words of the day. So again, you know, within this database, the Sesame Street and Communities, it's very easy to navigate through this one, and you can search it using, you know, your own keywords if you want to, or if you have a particular topic that they happen to be covering. That's another really good way to get at these tools. And just an example of what the newsletter looks like, the PBS Kids for newsletter. I just wanted to just have a chance to take a peek at an example. I've signed up for a subscription to this, and so oftentimes they're thematically you know, arranged. So here's making new friends, and they've got a link to one of the videos that's coming up, and some of the other examples of some things that you can do with your kids. And again, I think these are things that you could adapt for the classroom. if you wanted to, just, or if for nothing else than some good ideas for where to get started on these topics. I think the newsletter could be kind of an interesting thing. So, do you have questions? I know that was kind of a whirlwind tour, but are there?
Are all these resources available on Darcy's link on the?
Yep, they will be. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you don't have to worry if you weren't able to remember how we got to them.
Okay. I think this would be a nice resource to share with, especially my preschool and kindergarten, maybe first grade teachers, and for the parents portion of it. That might be something that they can send the link home in a newsletter or something to share with their parents.
Sure. Good. Well, anything else? Any thoughts about anything you saw or any quick?
Yeah, I think there's some neat resources in there for sure.
Good. Good. Well, that's all I have today. If you have any other questions or you wanted to talk about, one of the things I do here is make arrangements for schools to have events and family events and things like that. So if you ever feel like you'd like to talk about that a little bit, I'd be happy to do that. So maybe I will sign off and thank you again for joining us.